Here we are, Sean, at the back door where the mail comes in, and we begin the sorting of the mail. When the returned vote-by-mail ballots come in and are put in the red trays waiting for signature verification, they stay in the red tray. Once they have had all their signatures verified, each batch then goes into a green tray. The green trays then are ready for opening, and they go across the hall once the canvassing board authorizes us to open the ballots. And the opening machines over there, the operators, I'll show you a little bit about how they run themselves. And then the ballots are laid out on a table and put into a blue tray so that we know when we see red trays, they haven't been verified, green trays, they have been verified, blue trays are ready to be tabulated. And that's the keys to our color coding here in the vote-by-mail process.
What signature are you validating in the red bin?
The signature that is on the outside of the envelope is compared with the signature in that voter's record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if we start with the most recent signature, and if that is not one, we can then look through other signatures that might be in that voter's record and determine if it's a match or not.
Cool.
This is Michelle, our operator of the mail ballot verification machine, and she's going to run this small batch of ballots through there so we can see how they come out.
Need some persuasion.
All right, this machine then gives us 3 printouts. One is the list of voters whose signature has been verified, another list of those that were not verified, and another list of those that it could not read. Some people, believe it or not, send them back with the signature blank. They fail to sign it. Other times the signature might get smudged in the handling of the post office, but for whatever reason, it gives us that list. And then our staff then takes the entire batch, and that batch stays together through the whole process. And they then begin the manual verification of those that the machine did not verify. And as we said before, if we cannot match that signature to any signature in their voter record, we notify the voter that there's an issue and what they have to do to reconcile that issue.
Now I noticed that some of them went down here and some of them went up here. What are the differences?
Well, this batch down here is the ones that they couldn't read for whatever reason. See the smudge marks right there? That probably messed it up. This one here is for sure smudged. They couldn't read anything
in the mail
there.
handling, yeah.
That's right, yeah. And then these out here are the ones that
it was able to read.
Exactly, they could read it.
Okay.
They may not have matched it, but that's why the printouts are so important. And then when they start the manual verification, the computer will run through and it'll show all of those signatures of those that are unverified, and they go through the process.
So this is basically confirming that the signature is there, and then it's not necessarily checking for the accuracy and matching. That's the manual process.
No, this does check for the
yes. Okay.
See, the accuracy and matching is done by the barcode, and we stress the instructions here. This signature must be that of the person whose name is printed here.
Okay.
So that's the name of the voter to whom this ballot was mailed, and then we're expecting them to mail it back to us with the signature right there for that particular voter. One of the things that we frequently find, and it's dismaying, but we cannot accept it, is when spouses will switch, and the wife will sign the husband's envelope that has his name printed on it, and vice versa. So then we have to say, hey, sorry, those can't be counted. Another factor that we cannot accept either ballot if they send more than one ballot in one envelope. You cannot put 2 ballots in the same envelope. It has to be only one voter's ballot goes in that envelope.
In the instance, in that example of the husband signing for the wife and vice versa, what happens then? Do you notify them?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Notify them, sure.
Excellent.
Let's move over and take a look in the opening room, and then we'll come back and go in the tabulation room. You'll see the ballots come in this way. The end and the top is sliced open, and then they're open like that. And it waits on the operator. It doesn't hurry them through or anything. Gives her time to separate everything appropriately. and make sure everything is what it's supposed to be.
She's checking to see that the ballot is in the envelope.
Exactly. Yep. And make sure there's not too many of them in there and all that sort of thing. Of course, one of the things I'll emphasize too, every step of the way, there is a cover sheet that accompanies this batch and tells us how many envelopes are in that batch.
Okay.
And we count before each step begins to verify that that count is still accurate. And if it isn't, we stop right then and go back through the whole process to determine why isn't it accurate.
Okay.
And do it that way.
So I noticed a few things about the workstation. There are different places for each type of finding, right? So this is where you're putting the secrecy sleeves and ballots themselves. And those are the envelopes.
Exactly.
And then here, what would errors mean?
What's some examples of some errors?
Sometimes it'll take 2 envelopes through at one time, so the machine shuts down and tells me there's been a double feed.
Okay.
So then we take those out and put them in the errors, and we hand open those.
Okay. All right. And then I see there's a spot for when an envelope has 2 ballots in it, and then one for when no ballot is included. So then I guess just the envelopes go in those spots, or how does that work?
As we're opening it at the station, if we see that there's 2 ballots or no ballot, we take the contents and the envelope and keep them together and put them in the appropriate tray.
Okay. And in the event that an envelope has 2 ballots in it, what happens to those ballots?
They are not allowed to be accepted per state statute.
Okay.
So the reason we keep it with the envelope is because then we know the voter that received that ballot was checked in, and we can take it back and mark it as an error, and then we'll present it to the canvassing board.
Okay, excellent. This might be, I'm not sure who would answer, probably you.
Well, ask the question, we'll find out.
What is does a person get more than 1 ballot in the mail?
Yes, well, only if they ask for it. We only send vote by mail ballots to people who have requested them. Okay. Some states mail to every registered voter, but in Florida we do not. We only send to people who have a current request on file. And then if they mess that ballot up, they can send it back to us with a request for a replacement ballot. We void the first one and send the second one to them. The same thing can occur in an in-person polling place, whether it be early voting or the precinct voting. If they mess up 2 ballots, we can give them the third one, but they can't get more than 3.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
And then finally, as far as the mail-in ballots process goes, what was the name of the tracking system that we can use, and how do we sign up for that?
It's called Ballot Trax, TRAX, and you can sign up online, or you can call the office, give them your information, and Michelle and her team will be happy to put you in the enrollment.
All right.
Also included on our vote by mail request.
Okay. So there's an explanation of how to do that when you request it. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more of this detailed and unprecedented access to the Lake County Supervisor of Elections.